In the land of Terramar, a vast chasm split the kingdom in two. On one side, the people of Ardor, fiercely proud and self-reliant, lived in the shadow of towering mountains. On the other, the people of Valor, skilled craftsmen and traders, built their homes by the tranquil shores of the great river. For generations, the two factions had been locked in conflict, each blaming the other for the tragedy that had once befallen their land. The only way to cross the divide was a legend, the fabled Bridge of Unity, a magnificent structure said to have been built by the kingdom's ancient ancestors. But the bridge had been destroyed in the war many years ago, leaving a wound in the heart of Terramar that could never be healed. Princess Mira, daughter of King Alden, was no stranger to the pain of division. She had grown up hearing the stories of the bridge, and the hope it had once represented. But now, with both sides locked in eternal war, Mira knew that peace was only a dream unless the bridge could be rebuilt. Determined, she sought out her father's counsel. "My daughter," King Alden said, his voice heavy with the weight of years of struggle. "You are brave to dream of such a thing. But the bridge was more than stone, it was trust. We've lost that trust, and no stone can replace it." "I will rebuild it, father," Mira declared, her eyes burning with a quiet determination. "Not just the bridge but the bond that once connected us all. I will walk to the ends of Terramar on both sides and speak with the people. They must see that we are all bound by the same pain." Her father's eyes softened, and for a moment, there was a flicker of hope. But he shook his head. "It will not be easy. The people are filled with hatred." Undeterred, Mira set out alone, her heart resolute, crossing the river that separated her from the land of Ardor. Her journey took her to the heart of the warring factions, where she was greeted with suspicion and hostility. The people of Ardor eyed her with distrust, whispering of her royal blood, and the supposed weakness of the Valorians. But Mira did not flinch. She spoke to them, her voice carrying the weight of a truth they had long ignored. "I know your pain," she said. "You lost fathers, brothers, and sons. But the Valorians are no different. They grieve as you do. We are bound by the same sorrow. The bridge that once connected us was not just stone, it was hope. And without hope we perish." The words were met with silence, followed by murmurs of discontent, but Mira pressed on, showing them the shared scars of their past. It was a hard, painful journey, but with each village she visited, she found allies, small pockets of hope hidden beneath the veneer of anger. But for every friend she made, there were twice as many enemies. One night, as Mira camped by a ruined section of the old bridge, a figure emerged from the shadows. Cloaked in tattered robes, the figure was silent, but had an air of ancient wisdom. He was the bridge keeper, the last guardian of the bridge's secrets. "Mira of Terramar," he spoke, his voice like the rustling of leaves. "I have watched your journey. The road you walk is fraught with danger, for the hearts of the people are darker than the chasm you seek to cross. I know the risks," Mira said, her voice firm but weary. "But I will not give up. If we do not rebuild, our people will remain lost forever." The bridge keeper studied her closely. "Then you must understand this truth. To rebuild the bridge, you must first rebuild the trust between the two sides. The stone will only come after the heart has been mended." "But how?" Mira asked. "The wounds are too deep. The people are too divided." "The answer lies in forgiveness," the bridge keeper said. "Forgiveness is the key that will open their hearts. But it must come from both sides or the bridge will never stand." With the bridge keeper's counsel, Mira returned to the divided lands. She knew that it would not be enough to simply rebuild the bridge. She had to bring the people together, make them see that peace was possible only if they let go of their hatred. The final test came when the leaders of both factions, King Alden and the Valorian Chancellor, were brought to the site where the bridge had once stood. They stood on opposite banks of the chasm, each too proud to cross, too bitter to speak. Mira stood in the middle, holding out her hands. "This chasm is not just between us, it is in our hearts. If we cannot forgive each other, if we cannot unite, then the bridge will never be built. But if we choose to let go of the past and build a new future, the bridge will stand. The stone can be replaced. The trust cannot." For a long moment, neither side moved. The wind howled, carrying the echoes of the past through the ruins of the old bridge. And then, finally, something changed. The Valorian chancellor stepped forward, his face etched with years of pain. I have lost much, he said, his voice trembling. But I will not lose more. For the sake of my people and yours, I will choose peace. King Alden, his eyes filled with years of sorrow, followed suit. For the sake of our children, he said, his voice breaking, I will forgive. The ground trembled as both leaders crossed the gap, meeting in the middle. They clasped hands, and in that moment, the curse of the chasm was broken. The bridgekeeper's hands rose in blessing, and the foundations of the new bridge began to take shape, stone by stone. The people of Terramar gathered in awe as the bridge rose from the ashes of war. And as it stood tall once again, the people, both from Ardor and Valor, walked across it, side by side, their hearts united in the spirit of peace. And Princess Mira, standing at the heart of the Bridge of Unity, knew that the true strength of the kingdom lay not in the stone, but in the courage of those who dared to forgive. The story of the Bridge of Unity teaches that true peace is built on forgiveness, not walls. By letting go of past hurts and embracing empathy, we can heal even the deepest divides. Unity comes from understanding our shared humanity and choosing hope over hatred.